Hello, I'm Gordon Lane, editor of CameraLabs.com, and I'd like to give you a brief video tour around the Canon EF-S 10-22mm lens. Here it is, the 10-22, and as an EF-S lens it will only work on EF-S compatible bodies, such as the EOS 30D or the EOS 400D, which is what we've got it mounted on here. Now when you attach this lens to one of these bodies, it gives an equivalent coverage of 16-35mm. Now that's extremely wide angle, and to give you some idea of what that's like in practice, here are some examples taken with the standard 18-55mm kit lens, zoomed all the way out, and now zoomed all the way in. Now from exactly the same position, here are some examples taken with the 10-22mm, once again zoomed all the way out, and all the way in. Now let's have a look at those wide angle shots again. Here's the 18-55 zoomed all the way out, and here's the 10-22 zoomed all the way out, and it's pretty clear that the 10-22 is capturing an absolutely massive field. So a lens like this is clearly ideal if you're into photographing enormous landscape views, but they're not just about outdoor photography. Ultra-wide angle lenses are also perfect if you're into taking pictures of buildings, really big buildings that wouldn't normally fit into the field of view of a normal lens. They're also really handy inside of buildings. We've all taken photographs of rooms indoors where we've just not managed to fit in all the furniture or the details around the edges. Well, with a lens like this, you really will squeeze it all in. Here's an example. Here's a photo inside a church taken with a normal 18-55mm lens, zoomed all the way out to 18mm. This is as wide as it would get with a normal kit lens. Now here's another shot taken with the 10-22 zoomed all the way out, only a couple of steps to the right. Now we've not stepped back one jot for this picture, and you can just see it's absolutely amazing what you can squeeze in. Clearly ultra wide angle lenses are the favourite lenses of estate agents the world over. So those are just some examples of the type of photos you could take with an ultra wide angle lens. So how does the Canon 10-22 actually fare in practice? Well, in terms of build quality it's pretty good. It's a step up from the standard kit lens and roughly equivalent to those other upgraded EF-S lenses, the 17-85 and the 17-55. So if you're familiar with either of those lenses, you know what you're going to get with this. Like those other lenses, the 10-22 features a USM focusing motor. This means the focusing is very fast and very quiet. It's also important to note that when you zoom the lens in and out, the barrel doesn't actually extend. Also, the outside of the barrel doesn't rotate when you focus, which is great news if you're the kind of person who wants to use a filter on the end. In terms of optical quality, it's actually really very good. With an ultra-wide angle lens, you normally have to accept a certain amount of distortion towards the edges of the frame where things tend to bend, straight lines turn into bananas. Now there's still obviously a certain amount of that with this lens. You can't get away with it when you're fitting in that much. But in terms of ultra-wide angle lenses, it's actually really very good. Very low distortion, and it's also very sharp across the whole field. So, all in all, it's a really good quality lens. What are the downsides? Well, Canon doesn't supply a lens hood with it, and when you're taking huge pictures outdoors of big landscapes, almost inevitably the sun is going to get in the way. So unfortunately, one of the first things you're going to have to do when you buy this lens, if you're going to be taking outdoor photos with it, is to buy a lens hood. It's a real shame that Canon doesn't include lens hoods with anything other than its professional L lenses, but that's the way it is. If you're willing to accept that, we can highly recommend this lens. It's ideal if you're into ultra wide angle photography, or you just simply can't step back any further and you want to fit in a bigger view. To see more examples taken with this lens, along with full results and comparisons with other lenses, please check out our full review at www.cameralabs.com.